Hello there, how's it going? All right, so thanks very much for tuning in. I'm Tim and this is my Carbon Coach channel, all about allotment life, trains apparently, and eco-living. So today it's finally time to take the onions out and some of the garlic, but I'm leaving the red onions in. We've got a little bit of a herby menace going on over here that I'll get into all about that in a short while. So yeah, I've just popped up here straight after work. I couldn't leave it any longer. We've got a few scapes to take off of the garlic, but essentially everything's just going to be lifted out of the bed nice and carefully. And what would have been fantastic is if I'd actually got my act together and got my polytunnel sorted out, which I still haven't. It's been 6 months. Like, where has the time gone? It's been crazy. Anyway, that would have been a fantastic place to be drying all of these out. However, I'm not that organised, so we're going to be using the shed, and I've brought along power tools. So what I'm going to do first of all is get some screws into the ceiling of the shed so that I can then tie everything up into bundles and hang it, so then it can just sort of air dry in the shed. It gets reasonably warm in there, it's not chilly or anything. It's fairly dark as well. I do have one window, but it's not too bad. So that's going to be the first port of call for myself. First port of call for you guys, if you wouldn't mind and you haven't already, is hitting that subscribe button and smashing, let's go for that like button as well. That would be absolutely awesome. And throughout the video, if you think of anything that you want to tell me, please drop it down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Anyway, without further ado, let's get zoomed in and have a look at pulling these white onions out first. So these beauties are my white onions, and they are a variety that is Japanese tough balls, and I sowed these from seed last October-ish time. There'll be a card up above if you want to see me doing that, but now it's time to pull them out. So they've probably gone too far. All of the leaves, are they leaves on onions, have absolutely died off. They've gone probably past the point of no return, and that big beast there was sort of the lead out for escape. All the scapes have been chopped off. If you harvest your onions and you've still got scapes left on, what will happen is the scape will continue to form and flower, and it will drain all of the goodness from your actual onion, regardless of if it's in the ground or in your kitchen or hanging up in your shed. So just, yeah, a note of precaution that I've learnt. Take your scapes off regardless of if you're digging them up or not. What you also want to do when digging them up is you don't just want to pull them straight out of the ground. You're going to possibly damage the neck or damage the actual produce. So what you really want is a fork or some kind of tool. And my knee's really starting to ache, so I'm just going to shift position. So rather than just pulling them straight out of the ground by the neck, which could damage them, fork or a little trowel if you wanted, but yeah, I got a fork just because. And then yeah, just sort of approach the outside of it, and you want to poke it up from the bottom rather than pull it from the top, and then just pull it out. All of the soil just comes off of those extra roots at the bottom. Give it a little clean up. It's been nice and dry today as well, so the ground isn't too wet and it's not too clingy, and you can see that if it's going to focus on that, is a beautiful white onion, and that's quite a nice compact size, that one. So I'm just going to work through and dig up the rest of them now. That one, I don't know if you can see that on film, but that one's roots is going for like some kind of world record with how long that is. That's crazy. Anyway, let's carry on with the digging up. And there we go. So we've got a beautiful variety of sizes, and yeah, plenty of decent ones. So we've got, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I would class as a success, and that is as well as the one that I've already got at home, my test one. So yeah, that is absolutely wonderful. They all look so brilliant. And yeah, they're now going to be hung up in the shed to dry. There were a few sort of weaker ones just down here, but I think that is going to be classed as a success rate to me. So that's the white onions. Next job is going to be the garlics. So we're going to do exactly the same with the garlics, and I can't remember for the life of me which rows are which, but some are early whites and some are possibly carcasones, I believe. But again, there'll be a video linked so you can go back and check exactly what they are out. But these, I don't know if these are okay. They've gone a little bit rusty. I might see if I can throw in a close-up, but hopefully they're okay. These ones have absolutely died off, and to be honest, one or two of them look a little bit mouldy, so I'm not sure what's going on there. These have also decided to grow some secret scapes popping out through the middle. I hadn't spotted those last time, and again, I don't know if that's going to focus on the scape or not, but yeah, sort of pointy wizard scapes, pointy wizard hat scapes I would call those. So I'm just going to quickly chop those off, and then we will get these out of the ground. And once again, it's the old fork in, lift out from the bottom rather than pull out from the top technique. But yeah, I'll just quickly get the scapes chopped off, and then we'll get cracking on these garlics. So that's all of the scapes off them, and actually this row there weren't any scapes on, only on this front row and also the row at the back. The row at the back are still looking quite green, the leaves hasn't started dying off yet, so I'm going to leave those for a little while longer, and yeah, just focus on these front two rows for you today. So first one, this is so exciting, I flipping love garlic. So let's have a look at this one and see what we've got. So this is a little bit more caked in mud around the roots than the onions were, but that looks like a decent clove. That looks like that's gonna do really nicely. That's a decent size. It's quite white. It doesn't look like, I believe the word is splitting or something like that. It hasn't sort of gone too far. So brilliant. What I'll do, same as the onions, I'll just plod on through these rows. I'll be right back with you. So that one I just pulled out, I think that's a purple white or a purple carcassone, and if it won't focus on my face and focus on this bulb, then you'll be able to see that absolutely gorgeous colour of it, and up that way it looks like it really needs a haircut. Anyway, yeah, beautiful. So there we go, that is all of the garlics pulled out, and we've got some absolute beauties. There are some that are like such a decent size, that is amazing. So yeah, we've got some purples, we've got some whites. Some of them don't look so good, and they appear to be sort of breaking apart almost. And then sadly, we got some yeah, ones that didn't make it. So these ones actually were the ones that I thought this tops looked a bit bad, and they've actually appeared to have gone a little bit mouldy, unfortunately. So yeah, those ones are write-offs, but again, that's not too bad. So all of these are then going to be going into the shed, hung up to dry out for a couple of weeks. So I actually just picked up some twine. If you've seen my last video, then you will know that when I was trying to sort out the old currants and get some dangly CDs on the go, I completely unprepared, so ran out of twine. But been to Wilko's today, and they actually do it without a plastic wrapper on, which is absolutely incredible. So this is the biodegradable stuff. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's still produced in India, but the other stuff with the plastic wrapping on it was produced in China. So I guess we're like a couple of 1,000 kilometers closer to home. So that's got to count for something, I guess. Anyway, biodegradable, plastic free. So if you want some of that, Wilko's is your shop. So I've just grabbed myself a handful of 4 of these garlics. Completely forgot the word then. Oh, actually, whilst we're here, so sorry, complete sidetrack, guys. Please bear with, as Miranda would say. Just picked up the latest kitchen garden magazine, and it's got a load of seeds on it, and I've kind of split it into two. That's got the swede and the turnips, which I'm not a fan of. This has got the good stuff in it. So there's lots of flowers in this month, so forget-me-nots, cornflowers and calendula, and you know I love all of that good stuff over in the wildflower bed. But what I'm really excited for, spinach, a giant winter variety. We got some endive, which I've never grown, I've barely even heard of, but we're going to give that a whirl. Lolla rossa, some lettuce, definitely up for a bit of that, and of course Swiss chard. So yeah, got those to sow, and I might sow some of them over the weekend. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to take this detour, sorry that's been a really long detour, is because I mean the whole kitchen garden magazine is fantastic, but there was one thing that really caught my eye towards the back, and it's about edible flowers. It was this. Freezing them, I don't know if it's going to refocus, it might. Freezing edible flowers into giant ice cubes and then using them in drinks and cocktails and things, and then sometimes the flowers sort of colour the drink that they're in. But I thought that was absolutely beautiful, so I'm going to be turning my hand to some of that. So anyway, back to the actual video. So I've got a big wad of garlics in my hand, I've got some twine, and I believe it is just as simple as, not tightly so you're not sort of strangling the necks, but I believe that you kind of want to tie them up fairly well so that we can hang them off of the screws that I stuck into the beams of my shed. So we will tie these up. I still need to check, to be honest, whether the varieties that I got are hard neck or soft neck. I mean, just giving them a squidge, they feel like a hard neck. So it could be that we're in luck and that once they're dried, I can just chop them off and store them as a bulb of garlic without having to need to worry about the old plaiting techniques. So there is that as a cheeky bonus. So that's those strung up. So now that is going to get tied to the screws that I put up in my shed. Upside down, I believe is best. However, you could go flat if you were laying them on your conservatory floor or in your polytunnel, etc. And if needs be, I've seen plenty of people doing them that way. But for myself, I'm going to give it the old upside down, see how we get on with that. So I'm just going to crack on and tie everything up. Now, I'm no allium expert, but I think your boy's done good there. That's not too bad a crop, to be honest. And if I'd have been able to spend a bit more time up here, giving them some more TLC, then that might have all worked out all right. But I'm really happy with that. But one thing that I'm not too happy with, and let me just bring you down here, and I'll come down here with you. Yeah, let's get you all not so squiffy, is the elephant garlic. And one of my elephant garlic's been eaten. Yeah, the sage has kind of overtaken this bed. It's just gone, like, it's a monster. It smells absolutely beautiful and it's going to taste absolutely beautiful, but this has just gone too far. Enough is enough. So I need to chop all of this back, but I also yeah, need a bit of help, because that is meant to be elephant garlic and it's not looking too girthy, if that's the right word. Yeah, it could do with looking a bit wider, and there was meant to be another elephant garlic just here, and something has obviously eaten it. There's a remnant of it, so I don't really know what's going on. I am going to have a little route around to see if I can find anything under here. There's a bit of something. Right, I found it, and so that's not looking too elephanty and it's not looking too garlicky. It feels really soggy and mouldy, so I don't honestly know what's happened now. I'm a little bit disappointed. Answers on a postcard, if you wouldn't mind, so I can sort this out for next week. What should I do with my remaining one? Should I leave it as an experiment and see what happens? Or is it time, because I mean the leaves are still looking really green. They're flopping a little bit. I've got floppy leaves, but they're not turning brown or anything just yet. Obviously I know that I need to trim this back to give it some space. However, what do I do? Do I let it continue, or do I pull it out and just do better next year? So yeah, if you could let me know down in the comments, that'd be absolutely awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to call it there for a video. It's actually just started to rain a little bit, a bit of drizzle, so I'm going to head on home for my tea. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. A little bit of a potter around with some onions and garlic. I've certainly enjoyed it. I don't know about you, but I think that my knowledge is slowly starting to improve. I'm feeling less like an amateur at the minute and feeling like I have a vague grasp on what I'm actually doing. I know I've got a long ways to go, but for now, yeah, I'm fairly happy with how I'm sort of learning each thing as I go along. So without further ado, let me just ask you once again to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up if you found something about it enjoyable. And like I say, please don't forget to drop a comment. Could be about old elephant garlic here, could be about anything else that you've seen, or just a general chit chat. That would be absolutely lovely. I release new videos every single Monday at 6 PM if I can get them edited on time. And what you could do if you really wanted to was take a look at my Patreon. It's a way of supporting content creators like myself to create content. My dream is obviously to make this a part of my full-time job alongside the other facets of my carbon coach. So any support is greatly appreciated in making that dream a reality. So I'm going to sign off there because I am actually getting rained on. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of your plots, have a fantastic week. Cheers everyone. Ta-ra.